Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? I thought I'd come to you tonight and just show you a technique that I really like to do called glitter window. And as you can see the sample here that has my glitter window in it. I'll hold it up and you can see all of that glitter. And we all love glitter. So, let me tell you a little bit about me. My name is Rita Holmes. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And I would love to be your demonstrator if you don't have one. And all my information is right here. You'll see my website for my Stampin' Up, which is www.ritaholmes.stampinup.net. My YouTube channel is Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. And my Facebook group is Stamp Crazy VIP. And I also have a May host code if you'd like to order anything. If you don't have a demonstrator, you can go to my website and use this host code, and I'd really appreciate it. But as far as my techniques, I make a PDF copy of every one of them, and I put that on my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, in the files section. I tell you the supplies I used for the technique and the directions of how I did it. And then the card I show you, I give all the measurements and supplies for it, and then how I made the card. So this is available, and all my other techniques are also available with on PDF. So you're more than welcome to go over there, join my group, print the techniques, try them. If you do try them, I'd like for you to put a post on there just showing us what you made with the technique. Be pretty cool. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my technique. And I have to do the whole process of the card making because of how I have to cut the window out and stuff. So I am using Poppy Parade cardstock, and I'm using the Painted Poppies DSP. I forget the exact name of it. And I'm using the Painted Poppies stamp set right here. And then for my saying, I'm using the Peaceful Poppies. So this is what I'm going to be using along with my Stampin' Blend markers, Light Poppy Parade, Dark Poppy Parade, and Light Flamingo. So I am going to go ahead and get started, and I hope you all just stay along with me. So the first thing that I'm going to have to do is take my card and fold it. And I like to use a Pampered Chef pot scraper as my bone folder because it makes good, crisp creases, easy to handle. And then what I have to do is I have to decide where I want my window on my card. And I have to remember that I'm making, I'm needing room over on this side also for my DSP. So I don't want to put it all the way over to that side. So I'm going to place it probably about here, and I do use some washi tape because I don't want that to move and turn at an angle. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot for a second, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'm just going to open that card. I'm going to lay it on my Big Shot platform, and I'm going to put my other plate on top of it. If I can get it in there without it scooting all over. There we go. And then I'm just going to roll that through. And I always roll it back just because it's easier to take out and makes a good cut. So I take that off and I have my window for my glitter part. I am also using the layering square framelits for my squares that I'm using, and I'm going to go ahead and just leave this sit here because I'm going to go ahead and do the next cut, and that is to cut my DSP out for the window. So what I did when I did this is I had my die cut laying down, cut side down to cut out my window. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my die cut and I'm going to put it cut side up, because I'm going to put my DSP over top of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to center my square over my window I already cut out, I'm going to take a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 DSP paper, and I'm going to put over top of that. And I do not want this to move once I center it. So I am going to take a piece of washi tape just to hold it down. I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. So here we go, folks. Okay, I'm going to get this out of our way. And there's my window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my washi tape, peel it really gently. I don't want to take my paper off of there, that's not fun. And then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to peel this up so it's out of my way. I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side. We're not going to use it exactly right now. Then we have those extra squares we could use to make another card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 Whisper White. I'm going to just kind of put that on as a mat underneath there so I know how it's going to stay, and I'm going to fold my card on top of that. I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus for this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay my cardstock here, put my magnets onto my card, holds that piece of cardstock in place for me to stamp. I'm going to use the poppy, so I'm going to set my poppy in here the way I would like it. And just press down so that will be on my Stamparatus. I'm going to take my Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. I'm going to ink up that poppy. I'm going to press really hard because I want that center. I want it to be really dark. And I'm going to do it again because I want that really dark so it's going to show through that glitter window. So that's why I'm using the Stamparatus, so I know that I can stamp this image a few times and get it really dark. You could emboss it if you wanted to, but I choose to do it this way. I like this way. So there's my 3 times. So I have a nice dark image. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to move my Stamparatus for a minute. We'll come back to that in a few. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my image and I'm going to color it real quick for you. I love to use the Stampin' Blends, and I start off with the dark. And what I do is these little folds is I just put some dark color in the folds where it looks like it's folded on top of itself. And then I just start bringing up some wispy little lines. You don't have to be real careful in what you're doing with this. And I kind of color in that black because I don't want any of that white showing through. Okay? Then I'm going to take my light poppy parade and I'm going to go in a circular motion and color to try to blend that dark and that light together. So I just use a circular motion over that. I think that blends the colors better than trying to use lines. But it's up to you and how you color. We all have our own techniques on that. We all know how we like to color. Brings back childhood memories. I like to color back when I was a kid, and I love to still color, so this is a great thing to want to do. Okay, I've colored that in, and if I want, I can go back over and just kind of darken some of my, if I want that to show a little bit darker, the centers of the flower. And then any place I want it to kind of highlight a little bit, like under this fold, I just come back in with some Flirty Flamingo, and it lightens that up. The light Flirty Flamingo does. And that way I'm really not having to blend. I can still highlight some. So you just want to highlight some areas. You don't have to highlight the whole thing. And there you go. That is my coloring technique with my flower. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this card back in, and we have to use packing tape is what my preferred method to use for this. If you have clear adhesive sheets, you can use a clear adhesive sheet to do it also. So what I need to do is I need to find my packing tape. I lost it. I put it on the wrong side of the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put packing tape down, and I'm going to use my little crafty mat to silicone mat, so I can lay this down flat. And I don't want it to really go all the way out to the sides, because I'm going to have a border there for my cardstock, my white. And I have to use 2 pieces because I used a bigger square, but it won't show when we get this done. So there's my window. Sticky side up. This side will be sticky. So what you're going to do, and I already have glitter in a coffee filter, is you're just going to sprinkle glitter on this. Cover up the window good, because you want it to cover all of the sticky, so you don't have any sticky. You just want glitter. And then we're going to take that and we're going to shake it off. I just do a little thump here and there to make sure I have my glitter. And there's our glitter window. Easy peasy. I tell you what looks really pretty in a glitter window is snowflakes in the wintertime, or Christmas cards to do this. Very pretty. So I have glitter all over everything right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this sheet, and I'm going to add my poppy in here. So what I have to do is I'm going to put glue on the front side where the poppy is. So I'm going to add glue to this. And remember, don't get too close to where that window might be. But you want it to hold down really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn that over, because I know that this is going to fit in my window. And I'm just going to lay that down and press, make sure my glue is sealed really good. And then what I'm going to do while that's like that is I cut another piece of DSP to hide this coloring. So see, there's my poppy. So now we're going to take this piece right here, we're going to add some glue to it. I use the Tombow glue. I really like it. It gives me a little bit of time to move my cardstock around. So now I'm just going to layer this on the front of that so it kind of hides that. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of white and we're going to put it down here. A lot of gluing. So anyway, we're going to glue. We've got that glued down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this smaller poppy. I'm going to ink it up really good, and I'm just going to stick it in the corner and stamp my poppy. And then I'm going to color that real quick. I'm going to do the exact type of coloring technique I just did. I'm going to put the dark in where I think should be dark areas first. And on this petal, it's going to be on the bottom. Same with this over here. And then we're going to just wisp this in here. I love easy coloring. Then what I'm going to do is take my light poppy parade, and if you notice, I always use the bigger tip. I just I don't like using that little tip unless I've really have to get into something really, really small. But even with that, I try to use this. So I'm blending my colors. And where I want to highlight, well, I'm going to take this really quick and bring back in here because I just want that a little darker right through there. There we go. So I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to lighten this up right around this. Just giving some little highlights in there. So the inside of my card's done. My glitter window is done. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to put on this piece of, I'm going to fold this card again. I want it to be flat when I glue. Okay. Whoops. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this on my frame on right here. And then I'm going to put a saying on the front of it, and that will be the last thing that I do. So just put some glue down. You can kind of go around your window. Don't get real close to where it squirts all out when you do that. And then we're going to take and we're going to glue this over our window. Makes such a pretty card. Delicate, okay? We're going to stamp a saying on the front of this onto the DSP. So there again, I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. With my Memento black ink again, I'm going to get my card set down. And I'm going to have to and then here's my stamp I'm going to use. And I'm going to put this right here. And that's kind of where I want it, just right like that. So we're going to bring that over. I'm going to ink it up. Press. And because it's on this DSP paper, I want it to be really dark because of all the flowers and stuff on it. I just want it to be able to show through there. Press, and I'm going to do it a third time. And there we go. We are able to see that saying. We have, this is why I put a paper towel in there, because if I leave that in there with ink on it, then I can fold it over, get it out of my way. Okay, here's our card. It is glitter window. As you can see, the glitter in the card. And the saying is on there. You open it up, and then there's a place to write for your note card. And it's awfully glittery. We have glitter everywhere. So anyway, this is the glitter window technique. Now make sure that you know that you can go to my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, join it, and you can get all of the directions for the techniques and the other techniques that I've done here on YouTube. You can also get those and print them off and try them. I really enjoy it. You come in, and also if you'd hit the subscribe button, that really helps me, and also share the video. I'm sure you have other friends, stamping friends, that would like to learn techniques in that too, and that's what this is all about. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.